Kim Bailey certainly knows what it takes to win a Grand National. Mr. Frisk still holds the course record for the great race after his victory back in 1990. The Last Samurai represents the yard this year in the colours of Paul and Claire Rooney. We came to Thorndale Farm in Gloucestershire to see how preparations for Aintree were going. Another Grand National looms. You've been there before.
Yeah, it's a long time, Robert. But, we're back again.
26 years. 26 years since you won it, which is, it's a long time. Have you had many attempts since Mr. Frisk?
Yeah, we have Master Oates running it. Longshanks was most probably one of the better ones. He looked like winning, turning in the straight and just ran out of puff. The Rainbow Hunter, obviously, the last couple of years, or last 3 years. We've had a few attempts. I think we finished 5th and 6th. Doctrines Express running the race as well. So we've had a few.
And good horses as well. It just shows how difficult it is to win a race like that.
Well, I think all these championship races are now got so competitive. I mean, the prize money at Aintree is phenomenal. And, you've got horses running now which never even dreamed of running, 10 years ago. Big cash makes a big difference, and the fences have changed. It's become a very competitive race.
And do you think it is very competitive? And do you think the fences have changed for the better? Because it's, compared to Mr. Frisk in 1990, it's a completely different course altogether, isn't it, really?
It is, and actually that was the first year they modified fences. I remember David Nicholson saying afterwards one of the reasons why he broke the track records, the fences are so small, it's not even worth jumping. Well, I mean, they look huge now compared to what they are now. We've got the Grand National. I think we should be very thankful for that. It's still there, and for anybody watching on television, they most probably wouldn't notice the difference. The professionals in the game know there is a difference, but they aren't as big as they used to be.
How long had you been training before? I mean, when did you start? I'm not
That's a really rude question.
It's not really. I was just wondering whether, when you won the Grand National in 1990, you've been training a few years before then. It wasn't a complete shock.
It might have been a shock to everybody else, and I had been training a few years before. I started. I can't remember when I started, but I do. But I'm not going to tell you.
No. I'm not. It wasn't intended to be a rude question, but I mean, just to win a race like that as a young, up-and-coming trainer, you hadn't won at that stage. You hadn't won the Gold Cup and the Champion Hurdle, so it was a massive race to win.
Oh, it was a huge race to win, and we did have a horse that was particularly good on the day, and he had the conditions. And that, I'm afraid to say, with all these things, it's a bit of luck as well, because at the end of it, he wanted firm ground. It'll never happen at Aintree again. The 2 races that won at Cheltenham with Master Oates and all, but they both wanted heavy ground, and we haven't had that since then. So I mean, a lot of luck goes into a long way to winning the races you want to. You plan for ages to have a run in these races, and the ground can go against us. And if we were to have really heavy ground at Aintree, well, the Last Samuri won't go a yard in it. So so much involved in luck.
People talk about an Aintree type. I mean, does that still apply now, do you think?
I don't think so, no. I don't. I think the race is so completely changed. I mean, the drops behind beaches have disappeared. The fences aesthetically look as big as they used to be, but I mean, you can brush through the top 3 foot almost in comparison to what you used to be able to do. You've got a plastic fence underneath them. So, I don't think many clouds jumped a national fence beforehand. We'll make one here and see how we get on. But, I think the race has changed enough to suggest that anything can most probably get round, providing you don't get interfered with by other horses.
He's got a handy weight, hasn't he? 10 stone 8. He gets something, 18 pounds, I think he gets from many clouds.
Yeah, and if we were, if they re-handicap the race again, we'd be, we're 12 pounds higher. So we're theoretically 12 pounds better in for this year's Grand National than we would be in a year's time.
And the Last Samurai seems to be, his win at Doncaster last time, the Grimthorpe, was, you couldn't have wished for anything more, really, could you?
No, we were delighted with him. I mean, he's become very switched off now. Charles, who rides him out every single day, has done a phenomenal job on him. We almost got to the stage, actually halfway around the Doncaster race, that we were beginning to wonder whether he'd gone to sleep. Which will be, be fine for Aintree. He's got 4.5 miles. He stays forever. We've been happy with his jumping, and we go there with a, very live shite.
Ever since the rehearsal chase, I mean, the form of that race has worked out brilliantly, hasn't it? Wakanda won again afterwards. Virac, Paul Nicholls' horse, was second again afterwards as well. So, and then he won again at Kempton, then Doncaster. So, I mean, there's no blemish in his form at all this year.
No, none whatsoever. And I have to say, the first day we ran him at Newcastle, we weren't terribly sure what to expect. And I think if we were to run the race again, we'd have ridden him completely differently. And there might have been a different outcome, but who cares? He went on to Doncaster. He went on to Kempton, which was, we would desperately try and find some good ground to get qualified for the national, and we needed to win at Kempton. Kempton was not his track. I mean, it's far too tight for him. He's gone and won the race by staying really and by jumping. He had no chance turning in the straight. So, he just keeps going. He's a relentless galloper.
And you mentioned you need a lot of luck in the Grand National, and the early sort of stages of a race like that are very important. Is he the horse to sort of settle down and just sort of jump his fences quietly and get on with it?
I very much hope so. He's become, as I say, very much more chilled than he used to be, and he almost went to sleep at Doncaster. So it's the old story of the Grand National, which has never changed. It's hunt round the first circuit and then race the second. So, if we're still there when they come round to the circuit to go, we'll start getting excited.
I mean, exciting to have a horse as good as that, and he's going to start one of the favourites, isn't he?
He will. I mean, Robert, all I can say is when things were not going very well and we were now having a quiet time, no one ever rang me or even talked to me. Now it's nice to have a situation where you've got a horse good enough that people do make the effort to come and see you, talk to you, and want to know what's going on. So I shall enjoy every moment of it.
You sort of make us sound sorry for you. No one wants to talk to me.
Well, you know what it's like. It's quite a strange situation when when you haven't got good horses, you don't get the phone ringing on a Sunday morning to find out how they've got on, etc. So there was a time when I originally that I might have got rather bored of everybody ringing up on a Sunday morning, but I can promise you I'm delighted nowadays they do.